On this episode, I talk with Sean Whalen, who's the founder of Lions Not Sheep Apparel. He is my coach in the Lions Den. He is a business owner of multiple businesses. He's a number one selling author of his book, How to Make Shit Happen, and that's where you can hear his foggy story. In the conversation, usually we hear the stories in the fog of people, but Sean kind of revamped Fire Through Fog and made me realize that we need to focus more on the light and not the fog. Yes, sometimes it's good. Just knock out that story right away. Tell your story of your fog, but then let's hear how we can help other people. And that's what he really helped me with. I was completely unprepared for that. I'll be the first to admit that. But overall, he dropped a lot of nuggets, and I hope a lot of you get some of that and are able to improve yourself throughout your life. Enjoy. How you doing?
Good, dude. Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
All right.
What are we talking about?
So
let's jam. Let's start.
I kind of gave you the heads up or gave you a little rundown of what Fire Through Fog is, just kind of being how someone became a fire, built that internal fire through foggy times in their life. I mean, I've had people from my aunt who lost her child from SIDS. We've had people who have lost family members from the COVID. I had Weston on last night, Weston Winter, and his story is insane. I read your book, got it right here in front of me, and I just wanted to hear it in your words, your raw, authentic emotion, you know? The one thing that sticks out to me in your book is just you won't ever forget the taste of the gunpowder and oil.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
So you want me to share some of that or what?
I mean, if you just want to talk your whole story with your businesses and stuff and all the chaos you had, just kind of explaining that and basically what you wrote in your book, just all the fog you basically went through and how you got through it.
Well, ask me a specific question and we'll knock them off one at a time.
Juggling the chaos and everything. What was the biggest thing that you went through? The most difficult thing?
The biggest thing or the most difficult thing?
Most difficult.
My own pride, my own ego.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most difficult thing that I've so far faced in this life is my own pride and my own ego.
So what did you start out doing? Where did you start in life? You said you've been a salesman.
Came right out of my mom's vagina. Came right out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the doctors are like, yo, we got a baby. That's how it started out.
Yeah. So you got into sales and everything at a pretty young age?
I mean, I was an entrepreneur from a young age and was always hustling since I was a little kid. I had a quote unquote real job for a handful of years. And then, I got fired from a sales job and never looked back. And I've been self-employed for 23 years.
That's awesome. And I mean, you're doing great for yourself. I can tell you that. And so when did you get married?
I got married in February.
I mean, so your first marriage?
My first marriage, I was married when I was 22 years old.
Okay. And when did you start your fighting career and everything?
I had some fights somewhere in there, like 2014, 15, I think is when my last MMA fight was. You can read my book and know the story. So let's help some people. Like, what questions do you have that we can help people? Who's listening? Who's your target audience? Like, how do we want to help them?
Okay.
Right?
I got you.
Like, here's why I say this is because we could talk about yesterday. We could talk about the past. My past has nothing to do with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I was down. I went through a lot of dumb shit. I went through a lot of fog like many other men did. We could talk about that all day long, but what does that help anybody? It doesn't help anybody other than realizing that we're all the fucking same. Mm-hmm. We've all had darkness.
True. Very true. I mean, no one's ever really put it that way because I don't
share my story on podcasts. I just do a podcast and I take about 10 seconds to explain that where I was and whatever. And I tell people, go get my book.
So read the book.
Me and you know that deal. So let's talk about how we help people, how we build, how we grow, how we strengthen men, how we strengthen families. Let's talk about that.
All right. Sounds good. So yeah, for Fire Through Fog, my audience that I'm trying to get is finding those people that have kind of hit rock bottom, kind of where you are at. Some of these coaches out here and stuff, you're getting people like myself. Like I'm wanting to start a business. Those are the kind of people that are in the den, people who want to start a business. They are ready to elevate. they're on a steady ground, they're thriving and want to become a top dog. That's my chart that I laid out. But for Fire Through Fog, I'm wanting to get the people that are down at rock bottom or just kind of starting to stand up. So the stories that people tell, they hear these people have went through this stuff, and now they're starting to hear what they have to go through, what they should expect, you know? So I guess that's where I'm trying to target.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why? Because I know a lot of really, really, really wealthy people that are at rock bottom. I know a lot of rich people that are very depressed, that are very down, that are at that rock bottom too.
Okay. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't honestly, because I don't know a lot of wealthy people, to be honest with you.
I do. And I know a lot of really, really, really wealthy, unhappy people. So money is a very relative thing.
And what's one thing you would give them or tell them to maybe get them a little jump start?
Jump start to what?
To get out of that funk. To get out of that, tell the truth.
Tell the truth. It's the answer for the rich guy, for the poor guy, for the fat guy, for the skinny guy, for the black guy, for the white guy, for the gay guy, for the straight guy. It's the same answer all the way across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you feel like shit, tell the truth. If you're depressed, if you're down, tell the fucking truth. We stay down because we lie.
Mm-hmm.
We stay depressed and miserable because we lie. Why do we lie? Because we're embarrassed. Because of the pride and the ego, like I talked about. We're embarrassed that we're down. We're embarrassed that we're sad. We're embarrassed that we're depressed. And so what do? Your buddies walk around. How you doing? How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Oh, shit. Did you hear Bob killed himself last night? Apparently he wasn't fucking good. So what's the first step to changing your life? What's the first step to coming out of anything? What's the first step to growth? What's the first step to tell the fucking truth, period. Telling the truth.
Do you think, so Weston last night, for example, I've had people on that say suffering is good. It makes you stronger. It makes you grow. I agree. He said last night that he put it a different way. He said that he feels that if he has not been through all the adversity that he's been in, that he wouldn't be where he is today. Do you think that's true?
100%.
So do you think?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with telling the truth. The question was, how do you help people get out of it?
Okay.
That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I was
telling the truth. Yeah, 100%. One of my favorite quotes was by Thomas Monson, who was he was the old president of the Mormon Church, and he said, "You are who you are today because of the choices and decisions that you made yesterday. You are who you are today because of the choices and decisions that you made yesterday. So every single thing that you've done, every single place that you've been, every decision that you've made, good, bad, up, down, left, right, doesn't matter. It all brought you to this singular moment, period. And the truth is we're sitting here in the singular moment. So what is that singular moment for you? Do you choose to be depressed? Do you choose to be sad? Do you choose to be mad? Because the truth is I could give you $1 billion right now and say, change yesterday. Anybody listening to this, here's $10 million. Go change yesterday. Guess what? You can't.
You can't.
You can't. Well, here's $10 million. Go change tomorrow. Now your idea is, well, I'm going to do all of these things tomorrow, but newsflash, you get hit by a bus at dinner and you're dead. So you can't go back and you can't go forward. So money is completely irrelevant to the conversation. Does this make sense?
Yes. Does someone have to go through adversity to become successful? Because I don't have a lot of adversity in my life. I really don't. And people say, I don't think so. But I really don't truly believe that. And I think that's one of the things that Fire Through Fog's done for me is I'm hearing this adversity through other people's stories. And it's kind of helped me. It's molded me. I don't have that firsthand experience, but it's kind of molded me and kind of made me a stronger person. It's made me develop. So I guess what I'm asking is, do you think you need that adversity to become a successful person or develop that discipline or develop at any moment, everything could be taken away from you?
No, not at all. No, you don't have to go through a divorce to have a great marriage. You don't have to go through a bankruptcy to become a millionaire. You don't have to go through a whole bunch of fucking shit to be successful. Not at all. There's a lot of successful people that never had to go through any of that. They didn't go through any of that. And I completely disagree with the idea that you need to. Does it make some people a lot stronger? Absolutely. But there's a lot of fucking strong people that I know that are very, very wealthy that have never been through a bankruptcy. I know a lot of freaking people that have been married for 30 years that have phenomenal relationships that struggled, but they didn't go through a divorce. So this idea, drilling down in the real question is, what is adversity? Like, what's adversity to you might be something easy to somebody else. You know, understand
That's
what I'm saying?
Point.
Like, something difficult for me might be super easy for you. A lift at the gym that's easy for me might be hard for you. A conversation with my wife for me might be something super hard for somebody else. So it's all relative. Mm-hmm. Adversity is relative, right? Do you have to be suicidal to be happy? No, not at all. Not at all. And if you're smart, the reason that I do what I do, the reason that I coach, the reason I use social media the way that I do is so that really, like, smart fucking people that want to change your life, they listen, they pay attention. That was one of the things I didn't do. I had the pride and the ego. And so if you are someone who listens, you are someone who pays attention, and you say, like, here's what I did wrong, you have two choices. You can go do all the same dumb shit I did. You'll probably learn the same lesson. Or you can say, well, I really don't feel like going down that path. I'm going to do it a little bit different. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it the way that he said that he would have done it had he not done those things. That's a smart business model. It's a smart life model.
Mm-hmm. Learn from other people's, I guess,
Correct.
mistakes or experiences. And that's, like I was saying with Fire Through Fog and some of these stories, I mean, I'll find myself feeling sorry for myself on a day, and then it's like, well, this guy over here has cancer, or they lost their kid, and I have my kids right in front of me, so I kind of snap out of it a little bit quicker. And you've preached this before, is spending less time in that window, spending less time in that moment of just down and depressed.
Right.
Do you still have these moments of darkness?
Yeah, all the time. I don't want to say every day, but damn near every day. I have darkness all the time.
How do you combat it? Just spending less time in the moment, like you've said?
Action. Action is always the remedy. Action is always the remedy. You know what I mean? If you're, I have a lot of favorite quotes. Idle time is the devil's workshop. It's a great quote. Like, you're sitting around idle, feeling sorry for yourself. If you don't move, and literally don't fucking move and do anything, you're sitting on the couch feeling sorry for yourself, and you don't do anything different. Don't be surprised why 3, 7, 9, 12 days later, you're still sitting on the couch feeling sorry for yourself. But when you feel sorry for yourself and you get your ass up and you go to the store, or you go to the gym, or you go for a walk, or you go run sprints down the street, it changes literally your DNA. It changes the dynamic of your brain. It literally changes it. So you feel bad, you feel sad, get out of the environment that you're in and put yourself into a different environment.
Mm-hmm. I agree, because I mean, I've started to experience that firsthand. I mean, I get piled up. This is bugging me. The kids are irritating me. The wife got on my nerves or something like that. And then I'll just get in these moments where I get down and it just piles up, and there goes a whole day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One of the things I'm also trying to do is with Fire Through Fog is with these stories. For some people, you can just go to them and they've lost a family member, or they've got cancer or something. They just got diagnosed with cancer. And you or me, if we haven't experienced that, we can just go to them and say, like, basically, that sucks. I'm here for you. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say to you other than that. I hope it goes the right way. But for Fire Through Fog, if we have a story that someone can resonate with, I want to connect them with them, and they can talk and they can help each other through it. And the person that's been through it already, they'll be able to just help them.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, talking about yesterday, all it does is just illuminates yesterday. And I'm not living in yesterday. You're not living in yesterday. Nobody here is living in yesterday. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that end up finding out they have cancer. They have some of the best years of their life while they have cancer.
Yeah.
Because they actually they woke up.
Opens
they realized,
their eyes,
oh, shit, I only got a year left to live. I'm going to go live that year. And they fucking go all out and live that year. The real question is, how do you do that when you don't have cancer? Like, because that's the problem with the real conversation here is everybody's like, thinks that we have all this time and we're going to live forever, and I'll retire in 10 years and then I'll have fun, or 20 years or whatever. And the fact is, like, you're not guaranteed jack shit. Mm-hmm. You're not guaranteed anything. So, you know, you're living in a place where you're depressed and you're down. Nobody's coming to fucking save you, man. Mm-hmm. You know, we can link two miserable people up together and that doesn't help anything. Or you can get one person who's happy and one person that's sad. And until the person who's sad doesn't want to be sad anymore, nothing's going to change. Yeah. It's just the difference between sympathy and empathy. So at the end of the day, like, I realized that I have one job and one mission, and that is to make the best version of me, period. I can't save you. I can't save the cancer guy. I can't save anybody. All I can do is create and build and sustain and maintain the best version of me. And the idea is the best version of me allows me to help other people. I shine a bright enough light. I might be the dude who ends up with cancer one of these days. Who the fuck knows, right?
Yeah.
But so long as I'm living right here, right now, like I'm not talking about yesterday. I'm not talking about all the fucking pain and the darkness. I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of darkness. End of story. Now what? Now what do we do? You understand what I'm saying?
So at any moment, basically, is what you're saying is if people get the mindset, adopt the mindset that anything could happen at any time, or everything could be ripped away from you.
That ain't a
moment.
mindset, bro. That's truth.
True.
That's truth. You don't have to have a mindset of anything could happen. If you don't realize that, you don't know that by now. If you're a grown ass adult, you've seen that shit. You know somebody that got hit by a car, that got into an accident, that's died unexpectedly. That ain't something I have to learn. That's real.
Yeah.
And what the goal is to wake motherfuckers up to live in that reality. The difference is, though, I'm not trying to wake anybody up. I'm not trying to make you something that you don't want to be. I'm going to live my life. And if me living my life inspires you, dope. If it doesn't inspire you, so be it. But I'm living my day, my minute, my second as full and as rich and as prosperous as possible, period.
I like that. I mean, you basically just said right there, I'm bringing on people that have these stories. So if someone doesn't believe that I can get hit by a car, well, I got someone on the podcast that got hit by a car. So it can happen. Yeah. And listen to how they got through. Listen what happened to them. Listen to this. If it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you. There's another person. Because it happens every day.
Yep. 100%.
Can we go back to, this is a really big thing to me, and I preach this a lot with some of the people, especially people that are going through depression, suicidal thoughts. You simply said, I did the hardest thing I had ever done. I did the thing that an alpha male such as myself never does. I did the thing I had never done before. I reached out for help. What drove you to it?
Pain. There's a very real reality, and it's a quote, but it's very true. And it's this: when the pain of the current situation becomes greater than the fear of change, that's when human beings change. What that means is, like, most people right now, they talk about wanting to be in shape and wanting to have these things and wanting to live a great life and whatever. But the reason they don't have it is because they're not in enough pain. So when the pain of, like, it's like literally, imagine taking your finger and putting it on the stove, right? It's going to burn you. You can leave it on there, though, and it'll keep fucking burning you. But when the pain of it burning becomes so great, that's when you take your finger off. It's the same thing in life. If I'm in a shitty relationship and it becomes so painful that I can't take it anymore, that's when we change. That's when we snap. That's when we have our coming to Jesus meeting, whatever it is, right? When the pain of the current reality becomes greater than the fear of change, that's when people change. And so when I was in that moment, I was in so much pain that I woke up the next day after almost killing myself and saying, I don't know how to change this. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what the next step is to not be angry. And so I reached out to a buddy of mine, and I was like, I don't have addictions. I'm not addicted to porn. I'm not addicted to drugs. I'm not addicted to booze. I just don't know how to not be angry. I don't know how to do this. And then I went on a journey of what I've been on for the last 8 years.
Yeah. What's something that you could give to make people more proactive than reactive to prevent going in that dark hole?
You can't. And stop trying. Real talk. Stop trying. There's so many people out there. Like, let's talk about some really deep shit for a second. Okay. When have you learned the most powerful, valuable lessons of your life? Was it when you were eating fucking rainbows and shitting Skittles, or was it during something dark and heavy?
When I'm under pressure.
Exactly. So why do we always run away from the darkness? Why is everybody hell-bent on running away from the darkness? We live in a culture and a society where it's like, I'm sad. Well, great. Here's all these pills. Take all these pills and they'll make you not sad. It's the fucking stupidest shit ever. People are running away from darkness. Yet The most valuable teacher is the darkness. The most valuable teacher is the pain. So why do we sedate it and mask it and run away from it? We literally have a multi-trillion-dollar marketplace for sedating people, drugging people up so they don't feel bad. What? You're literally running away day after day after day after day from the single greatest teacher that you could have. So when you say, how do we help people not be in the darkness? I have no fucking clue, number one. Number two, I think that's a terrible fucking idea. Terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
And telling somebody, well, here's some tools that you can use to not be in the darkness is literally like saying, yo, no, don't learn that lesson. There's a really valuable lesson for you behind that dark door, but don't go there. It's madness. It's insanity. It's literally the reason that prescription drugs and prescription drug use and the prescription drug addiction is at an all-time high, because somebody has a bad fucking day and they pop a Xanax. Somebody's having a bad week and they pop fucking drugs to try and not feel bad versus learn the fucking lesson to not repeat the same shit. Wild. So what do I tell people that have darkness in their life? Learn from it. What's it teaching you? Stop running away from it. Stop masking it. Stop lying about it. What's it fucking teaching you? Go. Learn that shit. Next page. Don't repeat it. You find yourself repeating it, eventually the pain will become so great that you don't repeat it.
I like that. I don't know how to word that, just being reactive versus proactive. I mean, you kind of have to react if it's face the darkness and react to it, but don't let it take you down.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where your suicides come into. It overcomes people.
Yeah, why? Because they live in it. They stay in it. They get addicted to it. I was addicted to my story. I was addicted to being a victim. I was addicted to like, woe is me. The market sucks. Everybody hates me. Life hates me, blah, 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 blah. I was addicted to that shit. I was addicted to it. And that was the reason I was so depressed. That was the reason I got suicidal.
And then you reached out. So it's a simple step like that.
Yep.
I mean, I appreciate all that. That helped out a lot. Honestly, put a lot into perspective in 20 some minutes for me for the direction that I want to go with this. I mean, every episode I've chiseled a little away at it and kind of finding out where I want to be. So
look, man, I mean, share your story. Everybody's got a story, right? And it's great to share people's stories, but like hearing that somebody struggled, like we all struggle. You understand what I'm saying? Like you can read my book in 15 minutes, know that I was suicidal. Like, shit, you follow me on social media, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does that have to do with right here, right now? Mm-hmm. Oh, congratulations, you made it to the other side. How? What did you do?
The tools.
What were the exact specific actions that you took to go from darkness to light? Like what did you do? How did you do it? That's what people need to hear, man. They don't need to hear stories of darkness. We don't need to hear people's war stories and all this other, not like war itself, but like all your pain and heartache. And we spend hours and hours and hours talking about that. I don't fucking care about that shit. So how did you get here now? How did you get here? Are you in a good place? Great. Then how did you get here? Like did this, and this. This is what people need to hear. If you're in a dark place right now, listening to a podcast of other people talking about all their fucking darkness, that's depressing. That's depressing. No one wants to hear that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, help me get out. What do I do? Right? Yeah, I can spend 30 seconds to tell you that I was dark, I was depressed, I was suicidal. Cool. Mm-hmm. Now what? What did you then do?
Yeah.
That's what people need to hear. That's what the world needs to hear.
I appreciate that because you just literally explained fire through fog. Like, how were you a fire through a fog? So
yeah. And if you spend all the time talking about the fog, then there's not a whole lot of fire. You need to talk about the fire, man. You need to talk about how people changed, what they did. Great. You had a fucking rough go. Your dad did this. You got mommy did that. You were depressed. You were abandoned as a kid. You got abused, whatever it is. Got it. Okay, cool. Now what? How did we fucking build what we have now?
How are you right here? How did you get where you're at right now?
Yeah.
So, yep. And would you say telling the truth is your number one thing of how someone could start to be that fire through the fog? I usually ask people, what's the one advice that you would give someone to start that fire?
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Perfect.
Period.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Sincerely. I'm glad I finally got you on. It's pretty cool. So
sweet, man. Yeah, refine that. My 2 cents to you on a podcast. Like truly, the world doesn't need to talk about darkness right now. The world needs tools and resources of how to have more light. Right? Like you need to tell people, yeah, if you're in the darkness, don't run from it. Learn something from it, motherfucker. Because if you never learn from it, you're going to keep going back there. I have way less darkness in my life today than I did 10 years ago because I have different tools and I don't stay there anymore. Right.
Yeah.
And so like, that's what people need to understand and what people need to learn.
So put more focus on the light and not the dark.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I appreciate it.
You bet, dude.
Hey, have a good one.
Man.
Thank you again.
Thanks for having me on.
I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Now you understand why I have him as my coach. He drops so much knowledge within 20, whatever, some minutes of it. And if you want to learn more about him, go buy his book, How to Make Shit Happen. Follow him on social media, because the biggest things that I got from this conversation, number one, is tell the truth, no matter what. Wherever you are at in life right now, take a second and be honest with yourself. And then you can build off of that and be honest to others. And the other biggest thing is when you are down, feeling sorry for yourself, just start taking action. Get up, get off the couch, go start doing something. We've said this before, go take a walk. Just take action and tell the truth, and you'll start going up from there. Like we've said in the past, if you know anybody with a story, if you have a story yourself, reach out to us. Thank you for listening.